gonna be reacting. It's the first time I've ever done this. I've tried this multiple times, but then my family were making too much noise. Please, one like equal one prayer for me that they will not shout today. So let's start. So today, our first video I'm gonna officially be reacting to is after 18 years of being poor. Well, let's see how that go. Okay.
It was another regular and beautiful Friday morning. I woke up early as usual and I was having
Okay. Nobody else. I guess it's in the 7 so.
breakfast with my dad in the kitchen. What I didn't know yet
Boy. I mean girl. She made one egg, there's two egg. Second, why is the yolk bigger than the egg?
was that this day was going to change my whole life forever. But before I start, if you want to unlock my story and discover all the notification. So, as we were quietly enjoying our eggs Benedict with my dad, we were suddenly and abruptly interrupted by big and persistent knocking sounds at our door, followed by those four words you generally only hear in action movies. Police, open the door! My
What does it have a gun? Are they criminal? Did he steal money? Did he rob the bank?
dad rushed to the door and opened it. Two police officers were standing. We are looking for Jenna Atkins. Is she living here? I was thinking, oh God, is this because I skipped high school again the other day? Damn, the principal was not playing when he told me he'd take care of my case seriously.
Nobody will call the police if you skip your high school. For God's sake, man. For God's sake. Use your brain!
Yes, it's me. I live here, I answered. We are sorry to inform you that your dad passed away last night. We found a letter with your name and address and a pair of keys to his apartment. We are deeply sorry for your loss, miss. Sorry, what? Pardon me, officers, but you must be mistaken, I said. My dad is right here, standing up. Actually, he is the one who just opened the door for you. I looked at my dad. He was flashing red.
It's animated. If you're flashing red, it's probably like not bright red, it's like a super light red.
Is he going to die today, too?
You're gonna die. Huh?
Thought. Thanks a lot for letting us know, officers. Have a good day. And hurriedly closed the door. It was at this very specific moment that I knew something was wrong here. Very wrong. Sweetie, we need to talk, my dad told me. Well, yes, obviously. Dad, what was that?
Okay, let me help you. Let me help you, okay? Your father passed away, this one your father.
Maybe we should wait for your mother to come back,
And probably not your mother as well.
I said, but I couldn't wait any longer. Seconds felt like hours, and I urged my dad to tell me right away what was going on. What secret were they hiding for so long? And then it happened. The cat was out of the bag.
Okay. But nobody cared. I'm not cat lover, I'm dog lover.
Finally, after almost 18 years of existence, my dad revealed to me the big secret. I was adopted.
How can't you find this out for yourself? The police officer said your father died and this guy brought you back home. You are obviously adopted, man. Like, come on.
Well, that explained the blue eyes, I said coldly, probably out of the shock of the news I just had. Then I couldn't speak for hours. My whole life was completely turned upside down. All these years were just built on lies and secrets, I thought. So many questions ran through my head. Okay, so I am adopted. That's a fact now. I know who my dad is, or at least was. But who is my mother then? Speaking of my mother, my now adoptive mother came back home. When she saw our faces, I swear she knew. Maybe my now adoptive dad texted her before, but anyway, she knew. So we just sat sat down, the three of us, in silence. I started asking questions, a lot of questions, but they couldn't or wouldn't give me any answers. They said they didn't know who my birth parents were because they chose to never open my adoption case, and that for them, I was their daughter and that they loved me, blah, 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 blah. Yes, sure, I get it. But what I needed back then was answers. That's the least I can ask for after 18 years of secrets, right? We decided to take some time off of each other so everyone could process what had just happened to our family. My parents went away for a week and I stayed home alone. I couldn't stop thinking about this, obviously. My mind was playing tricks on me and sleeping became a mission. After a few days of heavy and constant thoughts, I decided to ease my brain off a bit and think about something else. I love cooking, so I decided to make my favorite pie. I remember my mom had a very good recipe in one of her cookbooks. I looked for it in our bookcase. When I finally found it, I took it out and a box fell on the ground as well. And oh boy, what I was about to find out. The box contained hundreds of letters.
100? Hundreds of them. Okay. Just because there's a lot of letters doesn't mean it's hundreds. Unless you count the words.
Letters from my father, my real father. I started reading a few of them and quickly understood that he was actually in touch with my parents for years, probably from the beginning. So that means my adoptive parents knew the whole time who my real father was. They were exchanging letters with him. Not only did they hid those letters from
This girl literally. Why is she. I don't get this. Is this your real father? Why does he look like a gangster? Or some thug that's gonna kill you next second?
me the whole time, but they also deliberately lied to me when I asked about him. Do they know about my birth mother too? I thought. This was truly unbelievable. The story went a step too far, and I couldn't take it anymore. What was going to happen to me next? I decided to pack up my things and leave the house. I'm gone. I just left a note to my parents. I went to my real father's apartment. Since nobody wanted to tell me the truth, I had to find it out by myself. I was a little bit scared when I arrived. The place was huge and cold. Feels like somebody just died here, no? The apartment was also particularly messy. I guess I know now where I got it from, right, Dad? On the ground, tons of papers and documents were scattered. I scanned the whole apartment and then went to another room that looked like an office. Again, tons of papers, but more importantly, I found multiple bags, wide open, with cash.
The father who died, probably a thief. Because who in the world will leave a. This bag looks like in the movies, people use these bags to rob or transfer, and they transfer the money to this bank to that another bank. In between, some random person come up, took the bag, and left. Probably there'll be a few 100,000 in here.
Millions in cash.
Wow. He either rob a bank or he's been successful for the past 18 years.
Again, like an action movie. I instantly thought, oh my god, was my dad a drug dealer or something?
Wait, shouldn't this guy supposed to have a mystery a question mark because you don't even know what the father looks like unless you saw the picture.
What dark business was he running? Am I the daughter of a cartel leader? Please, Lord, have mercy on me. I had enough discoveries for the week. I kept on browsing the room and then found multiple real estate documents. I didn't pay too much attention to it until I saw my name written on it. I don't know a lot about real estate, but turns out I was apparently a landlord owner with, to my knowledge back then, at least 5 apartments in town that belonged to me. And then it hit me. In many of the letters my father wrote to my parents, money was mentioned. I didn't understand at first, but now it makes more sense. My father was always asking my parents if they gave me the money he sent, and if they are keeping a bit to pay for my studies. Well, guess what? I never saw that money. Not even a dime. Here we go. Another lie to add to the list. But
They ask money so they can use and they can survive. Oh my god.
Where did all this money go? Probably in my parents' pockets, but definitely not in mine. I was shocked. I just couldn't believe it, especially because at that time of the year was when college applications were starting. My dream was to apply for a painting and drawing degree. My parents were totally aware of it. I talked about it for years, but they kept telling me they couldn't afford to pay for my college tuition and that I had to figure it out by myself or just let go of the idea. Instead of feeling sorry for myself, I decided to see this whole situation as an opportunity for me to seize. I took all the money bags with me and went back home. When my parents came back, I exposed them to the truth. The letters, the lies, the money, everything. They went silent. As usual, my mom finally told me that they didn't know how to handle this situation from the beginning.
You think to handle? You're just using her for money. Hopefully,
And
hopefully,
got
hopefully this girl doesn't make the same mistake and also, you know, the hopefully the mother and father are smart enough not to take the money.
tangled in lies over the years. What about the money? I asked. We wanted to keep the money for your 18th birthday, but as we got caught up with debts over the past few years, we didn't have a choice but to use it. My dad coldly answered. Do you know anything about
No, I smell the one smell that everyone have to call bullshit.
my birth mother at least? And please don't lie to me this time, I asked one last time. They swore to me that they didn't know anything about her. But anyway, none of their words mattered to me anymore. So I just left again. But this time for good. I packed all my things up and moved to the other side of the country where my drawing and painting college was. With all the money my father left me, I could afford the college tuition and even rent in a small student residence. A new life was starting for me, a new beginning. I was finally doing what I wished for so many years. Drawing and painting were my escape, and going to college really helped me cope with all the crazy things that happened to me back then. I was particularly enjoying my drawing class, and for the final exam of the semester, we had to submit a collaboration work with one of our classmates. I didn't know a lot of people there. Everyone seemed to already have friends, and I had trouble blending in. So I just picked the first classmate that was sitting next to me, a boy who also seemed as lost and confused as I was. Are you interested in joining me for the collaboration work? I asked. I don't know. Do you know how to draw well? He asked. Well, I'm here, so I guess I know how to use a pencil a bit. Okay, let's meet at the library after class, he told me. Well, that's a date, I guess, I internally thought. Blending in wasn't complicated after all. We met at the library after class. The least I can say was that that boy wasn't a talker. He just sat down and waited for me to talk and take the lead. Well, at least he was pretty cute, so things were definitely going to be interesting.
Why do girl always fall for cute boys?
As I was getting drawing sheets out of my bag, some of my father's real estate documents I always carried with me fell on the ground. As he was helping me gather things up, he completely froze for a minute and kept staring at the documents. Where did you get those papers? He asked me. Well, boy, you're not a talker, but you're pretty curious. Those papers are private, I told him. No, wait, how do you know this guy? The one with his name on the paper, he asked. This guy was my father. He passed away a few months ago. Why? And just when I thought all those stories were behind me, it came back like a boomerang. A whole new episode to this crazy show that was my life was about to happen. Long story short, it turns out that my father was also his father. Yes, you heard me. I basically found out that I had a brother on a regular weeknight
Boy.
the library. And yes, no need to mention again the fact that a few moments before, I started to have a crush on him. I need to erase this idea out of my mind right now and real quick. Like me, my brother was adopted by another family. But unlike me, he had the chance to meet our father a couple of times before his death. Actually, he even helped him with all those administrative and real estate papers. He knew about my existence before. My father had told him about me so he could put my name on some of the documents. And you never wanted to find me? I asked. I did want to, I just didn't know how. He just gave me your name, he answered. Crazy that I had to cross the whole country to finally learn that I had a brother. We talked and bonded for days after that. We had so many things to share and discover about each other. But the more we talked, the more I felt like there was something wrong, or at least something that I didn't know and that he hadn't told me yet. Every time I mentioned our birth mother, who she might be, where she could be, he was evasive. He was always trying to move on to another subject. That was weird. How don't you want to know about your birth mother after all these years? One day, I was just tired of it and asked him, "Do you know something I don't about our mother? Do we at least have the same mother?" "Yes, we do," he simply answered. And after hours of trying, I finally dragged out some answers. It turns out that the only thing he knew was that our mother was living in the same city as us. Our birth mother was right here, next to us. I couldn't stop moving around. "We have to go find her," I kept repeating to my brother. He wasn't as excited as I was. He was scared to find out another secret.
But I feel like the teacher is the mother. Like her teacher slash his teacher as well is the mother. Now that would be a twist.
Facing another reaction. I totally get it, but I was reaching a point back then where I was like, okay, I've seen enough in the past few months. I can handle one more thing. At least this time I was in control. So I kept trying to convince him. It wasn't easy, but after a few weeks of negotiation, he finally accepted to go and try to see her. During this period of time, I also investigated a lot, and after nights of searching, I finally found our mother's address.
Nobody in the entire world would type with a pinky, a middle finger, and an index finger. What type of typing is this?
We took a car and went to the address. She was living in one of the poorest neighborhoods in the city. I remember us staying in the car for hours, waiting to see her get out of the house before going in, just to see what she looked like. But I was getting impatient. "Okay, come on, let's go. We didn't drive this far just to stay in the car and give up," I said to my brother. We knocked. As she opened the door, she stared at us for a few seconds. She knew who we were. "I guess the mother instinct never fails you." "Are you?" she said. "Yes, we are. It's us, Mom," my brother answered. She let us in and we sat down in the living room. We talked for hours. I didn't even remember all the things we said as there were so many. We finally asked, why? Why did she abandon us? Why did she abandon us? Why did she never try to find us? My father left her after I was born. When he left, he just disappeared with me and my brother under his arms. My mother was devastated. For years, she tried to find us, as the police gave up on our case after just a few months of investigation. She thought that all this time we were with my father, growing up with him by his side, and that one day we would come back. She had no idea what we went through, and that me and my brother were adopted by two different families. We were all shocked. Not even the best TV shows have secrets like that. After this meeting, we made a decision with my brother. First of all, we gathered all the money we got from our father and bought a house for our mother, a bigger one, and above all, in a safer and better neighborhood. We then decided to move out of the student residence to live closer to her place. We had so many years to catch up on. Finally, we could enjoy more time together, just the three of us, as a family.
This is so bullshit. And I'm gonna look for a new video. And the title is 5 minutes in the bathroom cost me $1 million. But let's react to it.
I am the unluckiest person in the world. I think it started the day I was born. My bad luck just got worse and worse, and my 18th year was the worst year of all. First of all, I was abandoned by my parents as a baby. My Aunt Carol took pity on me, and she took me in, but she already had a lot of mouths to feed. Her husband, Uncle Ken, and my cousins resented the fact that there was another baby in the house. They didn't like me. They pushed me around a lot. They liked to say that I had to learn from my feet since I was practically an orphan. So I never really had a family. I didn't have any friends either. The kids in my school said that they didn't
This uncle is even worse than the previous girl's father.
It's hard to hear that. It hurt even worse than the bee stings. When I turned 16, Aunt Carol said that she wanted to give me a sweet 16 treat. So we went out for ice cream. Just the two of us. I guess she felt bad that I was always the least important person in the family. She hoped that I would grow up to be a good person. But I told her that I was so very unlucky. Don't be silly, Penny, she told me that day. We make our own luck. If you try to become a good person, you can be lucky. That night, I decided to cook dinner for everyone. I wanted to give them all a gift, even if it was my birthday. I was trying to be a good person, like Aunt Carol said. But while I was getting all my ingredients from the basement pantry, somehow I missed a step. I fell down the stairs. When they found me, I had already broken my arm and my leg. I had to wear a cast for months, and I was in bed for weeks. Poor child, Aunt Carol told me while sitting beside my bed. A lot of bad things seem to happen to you. I felt so miserable and unlucky. But I was feeling scared too. Two big things already happened. The third one was probably going to be disastrous. Uncle Ken didn't have Aunt Carol's bedside manner. He didn't like it that he had to bring my meals to my room. I know you didn't mean to fall down the stairs, he told me, but please be more careful, Penny. We barely have enough money to feed everyone. And now we have to take care of you too. I cried a lot after that. I knew I was such a burden to them. I had a lot of time to think while I was stuck in bed. I knew I had to do something the moment I got better. So the only thing I could do to save money was to get a scholarship. For that, I had to study really hard. So I did. Somehow my bad luck didn't affect my grades anymore. I started to get A's instead of C's in my classes. When I finally turned 18, I was feeling pretty good about myself. I tried not to think of the third big bad luck that was coming. I got a scholarship to college. It would pay for everything. When I got to college, I got assigned to a dorm room, and I was going to have a roommate. I prayed that she was going to be a good one. I was wrong. Jenny wasn't just a good roommate, she was a great one. We became best friends from day one. Jenny liked to talk, but she also liked listening to me. She's the only one on campus who knew about my unlucky Penny nickname. I told her about bad luck coming in threes. She told me I was being ridiculous. If you keep thinking about it, then it will certainly happen, so stop thinking about it, she told me constantly. Only think happy thoughts. After a while, I finally did. We made our dorm room the best in the building. We both made sure to keep it clean and tidy. We never got into any argument about whose turn it was to vacuum. It was the perfect living arrangement. Jenny was the best friend I could ever hope for. A few months later, Jenny turned 18 herself. She treated me to dinner. She wanted to do something that she couldn't do when she was just a minor. I know what to do, she said. Let's buy a lottery ticket. I was excited. I never did that before. Let's do it, I cried. So we went to the nearest convenience store and bought tickets for each of us. When it came time to choosing the numbers, I decided on the dates of my birthday. Jenny just used random numbers for hers. We were excited for the results, but the draw was in a few days. Meanwhile, we spent a lot of time dreaming about the things we would buy if we won the lottery. Apart from the usual shopping sprees and exotic trips, mostly I thought about helping Uncle Ken and Aunt Carol. Although Uncle Ken complained a lot about me, the fact still remained that he let me live in their house. They still clothed and fed me. When the night of the draw came, I was feeling very nervous. I felt like my luck was really going to change that night. But just before the numbers were announced, my tummy was feeling topsy-turvy. I gave my ticket to Jenny and told her that I needed to use the bathroom real quick. I did my business as fast as I could. When I finally got back to our room, I was half expecting to see Jenny jumping for joy, but she was just busy fixing the stuff in her handbag. Did they call out the numbers yet? I cried. Did we win? Jenny turned around to face me. Sorry, Penny, no such luck tonight, she said calmly. Maybe we can try again some other time. I asked her for my ticket. I wanted to use it for a keepsake. But Jenny said that she already ripped it up and threw them away. I don't want to be reminded that we weren't lucky tonight, she told me. I felt absolutely terrible. I really thought that I was going to win. Oh well, I replied. I guess my streak of bad luck isn't over yet. It definitely wasn't. The next day, my alarm went off loudly. "Turn that darn thing off, won't you?" Jenny cried from her bed. I mumbled an apology and turned off the alarm. I got dressed quietly so I wouldn't disturb her anymore. After all my classes that day, I decided to buy some dinner that I could share with Jenny. I was sorry about waking her up that morning. But when I got to the room, Jenny wasn't there yet. I tried to wait up for her as long as I could. Jenny didn't even go back to the room that night. The next morning, I was feeling worried. It wasn't like Jenny to spend the night somewhere else. I called her phone. She answered right away. She said that she had to go home for a few days. There was an emergency. "I hope everything turns out okay," I told her cheerfully. "I'll see you in a few days." It was lonely without Jenny around, but a few days later, she finally arrived. She unpacked her bag and took out a lot of new clothes. "Wow," I said. "You didn't tell me that you went shopping." She shrugged her shoulders. She said that those were gifts from her parents.
I don't buy it. Let me guess. This girl, when she went to the restroom, to the toilet, her number was picked up. And then this girl wanted to take the money, aka gold digger. So she took the money and said that nothing happened and still came in. When she went on a shopping spree, probably ate some great steak, go on shopping spree, have a nail polish done, manicure, pedicure, whatever they call it, and then come back home. And then come back to the dormitory. That's my guess.
The Jenny that came back wasn't the same Jenny that left. Suddenly, everything I did started to annoy her. She said that she was tired of cleaning up after me. I was confused because I always did my share of the chores. I tried to please her more. I thanked her for every little thing, but she always seemed a bit angry over something. I was very surprised when I came back to the room one day. All of Jenny's stuff was packed in boxes. She told me that she was moving to another dorm. "Why?" I asked with a whine. "What happened?" Jenny didn't answer me. She just said that she needed a change. So she left. The school arranged a transfer, and I got another roommate called Mandy who kept mostly to herself. I missed Jenny a lot. She was my first real friend, and now she didn't even want to talk to me anymore. I tried to call her, but she never picked up. The next time I saw Jenny, she almost ran me over in her new car. I was crossing the street when a red convertible nearly sideswiped me. I thought she would stop the car and check if I was okay, but when she saw that it was me, she just kept on going. What was happening to Jenny? She was turning into a mean girl all of a sudden. "Are you all right?" said a voice nearby. I turned. It was my roommate, Mandy. I stood up and shook the dust off my clothes. "Was that Jenny driving?" Mandy asked. I nodded. Mandy sniffed and made a face. "She's awful. My old roommate went to the same high school as her. She told me that Jenny is a snob. Besides, she practically forced me to leave my room so she could switch places with me. I felt terrible about my falling out with Jenny, but I didn't like hearing Mandy talk badly.
Girl, she's talking the truth. If not, she would have because who the world arrange a person to drive so fast that almost kill you? Huh?
About her either. "She's not that bad. Maybe she's just having a bad day," I replied. But Mandy said that Jenny was truly awful. She heard that Jenny came from a family of gold diggers and opportunistic people. Her family's got a reputation of being thieves and criminals. Of course, none of them were ever caught, but everybody knew what kind of people they were," Mandy added. I felt insulted. How dare she say those things about my friend? The gossip was that Jenny was always finding ways to make money, even back then. Money is the most important thing in their lives. I thought about everything that Mandy said on the way home. Did Jenny resent that I wasn't able to split some of the furniture with her? Did she actually want a richer friend? It sounded ridiculous. Did she
What?
actually
What this? Come on, man! Don't get me demonetized here.
want a richer friend? It sounded ridiculous. I tried to rack my brains to find the reason why I didn't seem to be Jenny's friend anymore. I thought back to the day when everything changed. It was the day after the lottery draw. Suddenly, I felt a tingle. I took out my phone and searched for the winning numbers on that day. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. The numbers were the same numbers as my birthday. My ticket actually won the lottery, but I gave that ticket to Jenny. She saw that my ticket won, so she stole it so she could keep the money for herself. How was I going to get my winnings? How could I prove it? I found the lottery office online and went there myself. I asked them what would happen if a ticket was stolen. Could anyone cash it in? Basically, they told me that they gave the money to whoever had the ticket, no strings attached. But if I could prove that the ticket was really mine, I could charge the thief for robbery and I would get the money. But before I could accuse Jenny of these things, I had to find out if she really won the lottery in the first place. The lottery office couldn't disclose the name of the winner without their consent. I had to make a plan. I needed someone to do this with me. There was no better person to ask than Mandy. Mandy agreed to it at once. She really hated Jenny that much. She said that she would pretend to be a reporter, so she went undercover. She pretended that it was for a rags to riches story that was going to be aired on TV. Surprisingly enough, Jenny admitted that she won. "How did you pick the lucky numbers?" Mandy asked. "Those were just random ones, you know," Jenny replied. Those numbers didn't mean anything to me. When I heard that, my blood boiled over. Those were my winning numbers. I used the dates on my birthday. Jenny was truly the worst kind of friend anyone could ever have. I knew I was going to get my third bad luck, and Jenny was it. I had to get that money from her because it was really mine. But how was I going to prove that I bought it myself? "The convenience store!" Mandy screamed. "There must be a CCTV camera there. They must have videos of you buying that ticket. You can show your birth certificate as proof that you really picked those numbers." Mandy's idea was brilliant. We ran to the convenience store that
You should a fan of Naruto because I am. Let me go. I want to Naruto run. I want to follow her Naruto run to the convenience store.
same day to ask for the CCTV footage. We got lucky. Mandy charmed and wheedled and even threatened the manager to give us a copy of the video. Somehow, we managed to get it. We went to the police station the next day. We explained everything that happened. They believed us right away. When we took all the information to the lottery office, they believed me too. Then everything escalated pretty quickly. Jenny got charged for theft. All the remaining money was transferred to me. I even got the red convertible. I was so very happy and very thankful to Mandy. She was turning out into a much better friend than Jenny ever was. "I promise that I will never do anything mean or illegal to you," she said with a laugh. "You're a good person, Penny. You were just a little bit unlucky." That was an understatement, but my luck was turning now. I went back home when everything was in order. At first, Uncle Ken didn't seem too happy to see me. "Did you get into any trouble again?" he asked, feeling the worst. I smiled at him. I told him that I wasn't unlucky anymore. "I want to thank you for putting a roof over my head," I said. Uncle Ken was shocked. I told them that I had won the lottery. Then I gave him the keys to the convertible. Aunt Carol started crying and screaming with joy. "I can't believe it. I guess we'll have to change your nickname then." The best feeling in the world came over me when Uncle Ken gave me a hug. He cried too when I told him that I would help with the expenses from now on. I guess that was it. My streak of bad luck was done. Only good things were going to happen to me now.
This is what you call clickbait. What is this? You know what? piece of shit. This is what you call clickbait. Clickbait. God damn it, man. Only I'm wait now you will clickbait for watching this stupid video. Anyway, please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. And I don't know what time, but I will make a announcement on my Twitter page. I will have the link down in the description box below. Thank you and
keep my head up when I act, head up that's a fact, never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track, keep my head up staying strong, always moving on, feel I don't belong, tell my thoughts to move along, push myself to